Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narayam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tajayam Vere Invatam Swakatha Krishna Punyashravana Kirtan Yadyantastu Bhadrani Vidhanoti Suhritsatam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Semi Bhagavatyottam Shloka Bhakti Bhavati Nastaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Sambandhanam, 10th chapter, verses 30, 31, 32. Verse 30 and 31. Ameka sarva bhutanam dehasvatmendriyeshwarah Ameva kalo bhagavan Vishnu Vishnuravya Ishwarah Tam Mahan Prakriti Sukshma Rajat Sattvat Momayi Tameva Purushodhyakshah Sarvachetra Vikaravit. Synonyms: Tvam, your lordship, Eka, one, Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities, Deha, of the body, Asu, of the life force, Atma, of the soul, Indriya, of the senses, Ishvara, the super soul, the controller, Tvam, your lordship, Eva, indeed, Kala, time factor, Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, all-pervading, Avyaya, imperishable, Ishvara, controller, Tvam, your lordship, Mahan, the greatest, Prakriti, the cosmic manifestation, Sukshma, subtle, Raja, Sattva, Tama, Mahi, consisting of three modes of material nature: passion, goodness, and ignorance. Tvameva, your lordship is indeed Purusha, Supreme Person, Adhyaksha, the proprietor, Sarvakshetra, in all living entities. Vikaravit, knowing the restless mind. Translation and Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of everything, the body, life, ego, and senses of every living entity are your own self. You are the Supreme Person, Vishnu, the imperishable controller. You are the time factor, the immediate cause, and you are material nature, consisting of the three modes: passion, goodness, and ignorance. You are the original cause of this material manifestation. You are the super soul, and therefore you know everything within the core of heart of every living entity. Purport. Sripad Madhavacharya has quoted from the Vamana Purana as follows. Rupyatvat tu jagat rupam Vishnu Sakshat Sukhatmakam Nityapurnam Samudhistam Swarupam Paramatmanaha. End of purport. Text 32. Viyamane Savam Grahyo Vikare Prakrite Gunahe. कौन विहार Ati Vigyatum Prakasiddham Gunasamvritaha. Synonyms. Grahyamanai, accepting the body made of material nature as existing at the present moment because of being visible. From you, agrahya, not confined in a body made of material nature. Vikare, agitated by the mind. Prakrite, gune, by the material modes of nature. Sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. Ah, who is there? No. After that, he, in this material world, arhati, who deserves, vijay, vigyatum, to know, prakasiddham, that which existed before the creation, gunasamvritaha, because of being covered by the material qualities. Translation. O Lord, you exist before the creation. Therefore, who, trapped by a body of material qualities in this material world, can understand you? As it is said, the purport, Atah Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahayam indriyahe. Devan mukhe jivado vayam eva spurati adah. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Krishna's name, attributes, and form are absolute truth, existing before the creation. Therefore, how can those who are created, that is, those entrapped in bodies created of material elements, understand Krishna perfectly? This is not possible. But Sevan Mukhe Jivado Swayam Eva Spurati Yada. Krishna reveals himself to those engaged in devotional service. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 1855 by the Lord himself. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Even the descriptions of Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam are sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent men with a poor fund of knowledge. Therefore, the best course by which to know him is to engage oneself in pure devotional activities. The more one advances in devotional activities, the more one can understand him as he is. If from the material platform one could understand Krishna, then since Krishna is everything, dharmam kalva idam brahma, one could understand Krishna by seeing anything within this real world, but that is not possible. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina vatsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshvavastita. Bhagavad Gita 9:4. Everything is resting on Krishna and everything is Krishna. But this is not to be realized by persons on the material platform. End of purport. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadameyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Advaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Pitamsya Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashata Deshta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we understand here that at this stage in this chapter that the two Yamala Arjuna trees have been uprooted by the force, or not just by the will of the Lord. Let's put it this way. Even though there was this little excuse that the grinding mortar to which Krishna was tied, and he dragged it between the two trees, and with a slight pressure, the trees got uprooted, and the two divine personalities, Manigriva and Nakula, Kuvera, come out in their original spiritual form, and they offer obeisances, and they are speaking in honor of the Lord. There are so many people, the gopis, gopas, or the Vrindavan dwellers who were spending day and night with Krishna, but they were doing so with Jnana Shunya Bhakti. They were not recognizing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because if they were to recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Amam Bonam, the Supreme Personality who nobody is greater than or equal to, then would there be any pastime? They will all be in awe and reverence. All the time, they will be standing before him with folded hands. What can I do for you, Krishna? What can I do for you, Krishna? But here Krishna is understood because they are not elevated to that platform of the gopis and the gopas, the two sons of Kubera. So they understand the reality that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom the whole world worships, whom the whole world depends on, whom everything has emanated from, including ourselves. So, this Jnana Shunya Bhakti, where the gopas have no knowledge about Krishna being the Supreme Personality. They consider Krishna as one of them, so they are engaging in pastimes. And they are all enjoying so much thoroughly because there is no stress of any kind. And even if there is so-called stress, it is of that good quality that does not affect you. So Mother Yashoda is, before this pastime starts, Mother Yashoda was boiling milk. And at the same time, when Krishna comes about, closer to Mother Yashoda, she was suckling milk, breast milk to Krishna. But when she realizes that the milk is about to boil and spill over, she lets Krishna, makes him sit down, takes her off from her breast, and goes to attend on the milk pot that was on the oven, the chula. So our situation is also like this sometimes, or most of the times, that we are trying to pay attention to our japa, trying to associate with Krishna all the time, sometime, but some important, so-called important mundane work comes about, and we say, okay, I've done 10 rounds, I'll come back and do the other 6 or more. We go to attend to that work. And what happens? Does Krishna like it? He doesn't even like it when Mother Yashoda puts him just to attend for a few seconds the milk that was boiling over was going to spill over. How is she going to attain pure love, pure devotion for me if she is going to be involved with this kind of, worry about the milk? So in order to bring her closer and to enjoy loving pastime with her mother, he goes about, breaks the, the yogurt pot and the butter pot. Not only is eating, he's feeding his friends and he's feeding his friends, the monkeys. So to increase the intensity of his devotee towards him, he is conducting like this. And then, even though it may be in the form of a little bit motherly anger, you can call it, but still that's intense. Wait, you rascal, you broke this pot, let me come, and I'll bind you, I'll teach you a lesson. But still, it is directed towards Krishna. And Krishna enjoys that, even though he's fearful, because Mother Yashoda has a whipping stick in her hand. That Krishna, you don't listen to me, and you do anything and everything that you want to do, let me teach you a lesson. I'll bind you to this grinding mortar and leave you outside. And then, can anybody bind Krishna? He's supremely independent. But out of love for his pure devotees, Krishna allowed Mother Yashoda to bind him. Even though she tried several times and it was always 2 fingers too short. So what was the two fingers too short? Mother Yashoda's perseverance and Krishna's mercy on his pure devotee. And that, because Krishna had to conduct this pastime. And it's so sweet. And here, the two personalities are bestowing all kinds of praises upon Krishna. That who can understand you? All these sages engaged in, your service or engaged in yoga siddhis and engaged in Brahma, engaged in devotional activities, they also get bewildered. What to talk about? Even Mother Yashoda is bewildered. So, how can we, the mundaners, understand Krishna? So, everywhere from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling Arjuna also that Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. Mai Arpit Mano Buddhir Mame Vaishashi Asanshaya. So in the 8th chapter, verse 7, so Arjuna. Arjuna was Krishna's intimate friend. And he was bewildered in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And this is Krishna's way of chastising him. But when Krishna chastises, there is no anger displayed by Krishna. So always thinking of me, perform this act of war. Give up all doubts. Give your Mai Arpit Manobuddhi, your mind and your intelligence. Give it to me. Leave it to me. Because Krishna is the one from whom comes the intelligence. As 15:15 Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita. So I am the one through which the intelligence comes, and forgetfulness. So when we want to give importance to something more mundane, Krishna will give the intelligence, not the intelligence, the forgetfulness. That you have chosen to pay attention to something mundane, insignificant, leaving me aside. I will give you the forgetfulness. Please pray that Krishna never does that to you, or not does to us. May we always remember Krishna and never forget him, even for a moment. Because anything that exists is Krishna. It's Krishna's energy. Krishna is all pervading in his super soul aspect. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnana madhvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti satyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So, Brahma is the subject matter of contemplation by the Jnanis. Paramatma, the matter, localized aspect of the Godhead, contemplation matter of Dhyanis, meditators. But for devotees, it is Bhagavan. That is the most important thing, is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality. A lot of times when we read about Krishna and Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's philosophy, and it gives the impression that Krishna is impersonal sometimes. But no. That is why it is very important for us to focus our mind on the Bhagavan feature. And Bhagavan feature is right in front of you in the temple as the deity, Shri Radha Madhava Hari, or Shri Radha Murli Manohar, or Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha, any names deity form. The Bhanga position with Radharani towards his left, playing on his flute with a helmet head with the war mukut, peacock feather, always a smile. That's Krishna. Never a worry. And if we are dedicating ourselves to Krishna like this, where is the question of any worry for us? what's going on in this mundane world will keep on happening. Today one thing, tomorrow another thing, because people are not perfect. How can their decisions be perfect? Whether that's president or whether that's the state chief of the statehood, how can their decisions be perfect? As much as they try, but intelligence is under whose control? Krishna's. Krishna is Adi Kavi, one who knows past, present, and future about all living entities. Now, somebody may raise a question: how does he know the future of a living entity? It's understood that past he can know, present he knows what's going on. How can he know the future of the living entities? But we fail to understand that Krishna is sitting in our heart and is witnessing all our activities. And the future is created from karma. According to the karma, the future is created. And when you know Krishna sitting in the heart knows your past and your present activity, that you have conducted yourself like this, and then you are conducting yourself like this. So how hard it is for him to understand the future for a particular person or for all the persons? Very easily he can predict, right? That's how we should understand that he is everything. We are part and parcel of him. So every time we read about Krishna, we associate to discuss about Krishna, we have to have that understanding that we are tiny, infinitesimal part of Krishna, who is Vibhu, great. That's what will always dissuade us from conducting ourselves according to the modes of material nature and push us towards trying to get out of the cycle of the three modes of material nature and situate ourselves in Shuddha Sattva. When you are situated in Shuddha Sattva, without a tinge of pride, then we are rightly situated. We can see things in its right perspective. But this material world is conducted by the super egos of some influential people who know nothing about Krishna, who know nothing about Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. How can they guide the society? It's a blind man leading another blind, and both are going to fall in the ditch. So unless we are guided by spiritual intelligence and realize that everything is for Krishna's pleasure, it is not for our pleasure, not for our. We can use certain things. We can use the certain amount of money for our maintenance, which is set aside by Krishna as our quota to raise our children, to educate them, because today's world, nothing is free. Even though you are the most deserving one, but if you are asking for free education also from a school to enroll yourself, they will kick you out. You go. We don't have any place for you. We don't have any teachers to teach because we have to pay the teachers. So when are we going to realize that the society needs to reverse its course? The nations, the politicians, the people in general, they need to pause, take a step back, and try to understand what is important. Just like, sense gratification all the time. There is a limitation to that also. You can only degrade your soul by that. How can you uplift yourself? Once you're degraded, your next life, there is no guarantee that you're going to get a human form of life because you have not acted in accordance with the chance afforded to you in this human body to make further progress. Rather, you have degraded yourself to the animal way of life: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. No inquiry has awakened. What was the purpose? Why was I born? I'm just a byproduct of my parents' interaction, intimate interactions, and I'm a biological product. And my job is to work like a slave, enjoy like a donkey, and give up this body and get my next birth like a donkey or a donkey or an animal kingdom without asking this question: where should I channelize my intelligence? But this is the only loophole whereby one can make one's life successful and make further progress. And if unsuccessful in completing the job in this life, then one will get the next life, whereby one will start from the point where he left off in the last life and make further progress to complete the journey, the spiritual knowledge, and then regain one's own constitutional spiritual body and go back home to serve eternally the Supreme Lord. I will stop here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If there are any questions or comments, please feel free to address them. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful day. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Prabhuji, one thing
Yes.
in purport there is saying is that in Bhagavad Gita, Masthani Sarvabhutani Natesu Avastitam. That is, can you clarify that one? Because he's saying that, and then another places is like Isavashamidam Sarvam Yat Kinjam Jagada Jagata. How to see, compare these two verses?
Mhm. So, Bhagavad Gita 9th verse, the 4th verse of 9th chapter. Maya tatam idam sarvam vyakta murtina matsthani sarva bhutani achaham teshu avasthita. So Krishna is talking about his all-pervasive aspect. Krishna is, there is nothing, matsthani sarva bhutani. Sarva bhutani means all the living entities. They are pervaded by me. I am in their heart as super soul. Okay? It is like by me in my unmanifested form. What is unmanifested form? Which is all pervading, Brahma. It is like, say, a businessman who starts a business and the business grows. Suppose like Elon Musk or Bill Gates, they started Microsoft or something. And then business became such a big that it is all over the world. So everybody relates who is working in that business, in that organization, that the original owner is Krishna, even though he is not present there. But in his unmanifested form, everybody knows that this is owned by him, right? So that's how this whole world is owned by Krishna in his unmanifested form. Make sense?
Yeah, Prabhu.
What was the other thing that you had? Other words?
I'm just comparing that. Ishabhasyamidam sarvam yat kinjam jagadajagata. That means he is saying one place, everything is.
Okay, so this is, both are very similar. Ishavashanidam sarvam, so, The next verse in Bhagavad Gita, it says like, Nacha masthani sarva bhutani, pashyame yogam ashwaram, bhuta brahma cha bhutasto, matma bhuta bhavana. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I'm not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. So when we comprehend these two verses, we understand that even though he has a role with everything, but still is not in everybody like that. That's his. That's why he says that your independence. If you choose to forget him, you say, okay, there you go. But devotees don't do that. It is not meant for devotees, meant for non-devotees. And when Krishna wants non-devotees to get that intelligence to become a devotee, then they will become devotees. Right? That's how these things have to be perceived in your relationship. So that's your sambandha, that's your relationship with Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.